My name is Emmy and I'm part of LJY, and today I'm really excited to be joined with Rabbi Rebecca from Finchley Progressive Synagogue. So, Rabbi Rebecca, could you give us a bit of information about today's Torah portion?
I can. I'm really happy to be here, and I even have a little bit of show and tell to help us know what's in the Torah portion. So, Torah portion this week, we're in the book of Numbers, number 4th book, and the Torah portion is called Hukat, which means law. So we think we're going to have a very dry portion full of laws. And the first law is rather strange because it's about the red heifer, a particular kind of cow. But I am going to skip over the cow because I love what comes next. So Miriam, who is Moses' sister, Moses and Aaron's sister, Miriam dies. And instead of the community just being really sad, something big happens. There is no water at all. And as we know of our ancestors, they love to moan and complain. And they moan because there is no water. Before, they've loved to moan about there being no food, no melons, no onions, no garlic. But this week, they are desperate because they have no water. They are ready to turn back to Egypt, obviously. Moses tries to calm them down, and Moses often calms down in this way by falling on his face. He's like a really stressed out madrich, is how I see it, with a lot of very naughty children. Doesn't know what to do, ask God what to do, and God says, go to this rock and talk to it. Now, the reason why I love this portion is that from this one mistake that Moses does, he never recovers. He is told from this mistake, he will never make it into the land of Israel. And so I'm really interested for all of us now in 2020, in the middle of this weirdest time we've ever had, when is it that a leader makes a mistake and can never return from it? So let me just tell you what happens in the portion. And then Emmy, if you've got some questions about how to make it relevant for us. So Moses is told, which is a bit confusing, God says, take your staff. And mostly what do we do with the staff? We use it to hit things or touch things. But God says, take your staff and talk to the rock. I'm assuming the rock was a lot bigger than this one, but this was the rock I could find in my house. And Moses panics. And instead of talking to the rock, Moses hits this rock. He hits it twice and loads of water pours out. Children of Israel drink from it. They get their animals to drink from it, and everyone's happy. Except God. God turns to Moses and says, you have failed. You failed to sanctify me. You failed to show everyone that you had faith in me. And for that, the punishment is you will get to look at the land, but you will die before you enter it. So for me, that story is in itself a fantastic story. But over to you, Emmy.
Thank you for that. It was really interesting. But I wonder if you could tell us a bit about how the members of LJY, how we could learn from this portion.
Okay, very much so. And I think there are two things that stand out for me, because I'm a great believer that Torah's got to speak to us right now where we are. Otherwise, it's not helpful for us. But we can make every Torah portion meaningful. The first is that I think we start to see that Miriam is a really strong leader in her own right. And why is she a strong leader? Because the water dries up. So that has to be a symbol that things don't work without her. Now, I think, for many years now, girls and boys have been treated the same in liberal Judaism, certainly in LJY-Netzer, madrachot, madrachim. I forget the term madrachim, what is it? For neutral, non-binary. I think for a long time we've been really equal, but it wasn't always the case. This particular portion that tells us how important Miriam was is the reason why many of us have Miriam's cup at our Seder. So it's a great reminder that things were not always so, and Miriam is a really important ancestor for us all. The second point is that sometimes mistakes are so big that we don't get forgiven for them. And I'm kind of interested for all of us in our daily life and the choices we make in how to be the best people we can be are there, and even more so as we look around us at the world leaders, many of us struggle hugely with the government here, certainly with President Trump. Hard to even give him that description as president. But how do we manage leaders that go wrong? And when is it appropriate for us to say enough is enough? So a lot of things emerge from this story for me. Being critical of our leadership, maybe we're always meant to be. God's critique of Moses was okay. Maybe we need to also consider, when do we do things that can't be undone? And lastly, sometimes someone makes a mistake and they don't intend it, but God isn't having any of that with Moses. So both those three make me wonder how we can learn from this portion. For me, I'm critical of some world leaders, and I think surely their mistakes are enough to say you're no longer allowed to go into the promised land. Or I'm also learning to say Miriam was critical to the children of Israel. Fantastic, I'm following that. And lastly, are there moments where actually it looks like a mistake can't be undone, but we can be a bit kinder about it?
Thank you. That's really interesting. I definitely think like the leaders of LJY should keep that in mind, and it's quite interesting to talk about and think about, really. So thank you for that, and thank you for joining us today, and thank you for everyone who's been watching. So next week, join us at the same time for Rabbi Margaret. So thank you so much.
And Rabbi Margaret gets to talk about a talking donkey, so she kind of got a nice one. Shabbat Shalom, Emmy. Thank you for your great question.
Shabbat Shalom.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.